Hello, hobby friends, and welcome to today's episode of Hobby Talk. My name is David Baez, and in today's episode, we are going to talk some TCG Pokemon style. Today's guest is the founder and owner of Mind Games Game Store in Oneida, New York, and has been a collector and supplier of Pokemon cards for nearly 25 years, hosting tournaments in his shop and being a trusted source of Pokemon cards in the community and around the country. Here to talk to us more about the Pokemon craze is Tim Becker. Tim, welcome to Hobby Talk. What's up, buddy?
How you doing, buddy? Thank you very much. Glad to be.
Oh, man, I got really excited about doing this. I went into my son's room and I stole some of his cards. I'm ready to play. I have no idea what, but I figured you get a kick out of that.
Absolutely. The kids are where the magic is, and that's basically why the card game keeps evolving the way it does.
Yeah. Joking aside, I have dabbled a little bit with him. He's taught me a little bit about playing, but yeah, I was really excited about doing this because I'm not going to lie, this is definitely a topic I'm not very well versed in, but I'm super curious and I would love to learn more. So right out of the gate, Tim, I'm going to ask you, please, for myself and for the viewers, the hobbyists alike, can you give us a 101 on the history of Pokemon cards? When did they start and how they evolved to current day?
All right, so basically take you back, it goes back to 96. So in 96, Nintendo ended up owning the rights and came out with a show in Japan called Pocket Monsters. So it started out with 151 little monsters, and they had, multiple episodes. Well, they ended up, going through that phase where the popularity in Japan started to rise. Well, they reached out and they found a company called Wizards of the Coast. So they ended up finding that distribution level between the two companies and bringing it to America. So October 1998 is when we started receiving demo decks in our store. So we start showing people how to play the game and get the rules down. So that way we could help people learn how to play the game and how to collect the game at the same time, because it was kind of the first wave after another card game that came about where you can actually trade and collect. So there was two versatiles, to opening those packs. So like sports card collectors, you could just grab them, fill a set, collect the binder, or you could turn around and learn to play the actual game. But overall, 99, January 9th, 1999, this was the official release. So that's when America became the drop.
That's the craze. That's when it all went crazy, right?
Absolutely. It was kind of, for us, Valentine's Day is what we remember. Opening the store, moms came in, they're like, we have to get the kids something for Valentine's Day, and they're asking for this Pokemon card game. And have it on the shelf thanks to Wizards of the Coast and, all the distribution. And then after that, April was when we were almost out of product for everything.
Wow. Just like that, huh? It just like blew up in a matter of months, huh?
Months. It was kind of that, we were watching the Beanie Baby craze fall down.
Yeah.
And then same moms were coming in the door, but they wanted packs of Pokemon.
Yeah. But you know what, though? Look, I'm sure there's probably some other examples, but when you said that, the first thing that comes to mind to me is, and I'm glad you mentioned craze. There's a lot of stuff that's had these like crazes that have gone, but they've dipped right back down later on, and they've kind of like fallen into the sunset. Pokemon is not one of those things at all. It's just been there, and it's like, to me, it just feels as if it's stronger than ever.
It's kind of got a multifacet to it. Being with the shows, the game playing itself, the at-home atmosphere. A lot of times it's that thing where, as you were saying, a lot of crazes will die off, but Pokemon silently still being played at home, even when it died off. People were still learning the game and talking about it and watching the shows. The huge market for it, I believe, is the video game launch. Once they had that happen, things started taking fire. And now multi-platforms with each one of these games being played at tournament levels. Now you got a whole different world that's into Pokemon, where they're making money at their tournaments, and now you want to collect the card game. So it's the price of the cards a lot.
Yeah, I've definitely noticed a spike. We'll get into that one in a second here. But now that you mentioned the game, can you talk a little bit about the game itself. Like, how long can a game typically last? And are there group events, tournaments, and like even the age range? Like, give us a 101 on the gaming.
A game could be just like a game of chess. We could sit down and within 3 minutes, that battle between me and you could be over and done with. Or the same thing as a game of chess, we can sit there and go on and on and on and drag bundles of time into one game. Usual matches are made up of the best out of three.
Mhm.
So if a tournament level. Otherwise, if we have fun tournaments, which are casual events like pre-releases,
Mm.
have a new set come out, they like to release that set to kind of explode the hype of the new set coming out and show people a couple of weeks ahead of time what they can expect out of the set. That is actually played in a one game match. So
Okay.
therefore, it's me and you having a good time and it's the luck of the draw. So overall, you can't be really upset if you lose a game like that. You're just sitting there literally learning how to play with the new cards and an equal keel like everybody else.
Right. That's some interesting stuff. I mean, I've tried to kind of wrap my head around it a little bit with my son, and but I know I have a lot to learn still. It looks like a lot of fun, though, I have to say.
It definitely gets entertaining, and it's one of those where we could teach you the actual game itself probably in a 3 to 5 minute breakdown. But when it comes down to actually learning the game, it comes down to your time involvement and what you want to spend into it. So
Right.
a lot of card games, similar to Magic, you'll have to invest more time into Magic in order to become good at playing the card game. Where Pokemon's opposite, you can spend a little bit of time and still have as much fun as the guy that's been, playing for 6 years, and he comes to a little tiny casual tournament and he gets beat by a normal person that just started a week ago.
So for a rookie like me, I should focus on Pokemon, is what you're saying.
I agree.
Yeah.
Definitely good introductory games that gets people to the competitive table.
Yeah. Very cool. So, let's talk a little bit about you now, right? How did you begin into Pokemon hobby? I imagine I'm basing this on an assumption, of course, but I imagine you have a PC, a personal collection on Pokemon. So how did you start, and what did you collect early on, and how what's it looking like current day with your collection?
I'll be honest, it was one of those things where I had never collected Pokemon cards up until I became a store owner. And then once it became an element of the store, within, as I say, we opened in '96, so we were right along with the boom
Mhm.
one, about a couple years later. So we kind of had an establishment. But it's that thing for me where most of it came in as inventory at first, and then there became the horde after a while, where when a good card's good when you're playing a card game, so you tend to filter yourself to keep those instead of selling them. Uh,
Right.
Overall, there was some particular stuff I've kept over the years, and it's definitely paid off, nowadays where the resurgence of Pokemon's kind of come back as strong as it was in '99. And it's kind of that thing where in '99, that movie kind of derived things, and then we just got done, with the Pikachu movie here a little bit ago. So
Yeah.
odd that we're repeating history. And
Yeah.
I think mom, dad always said, hey, what goes around comes around. And keep telling my kids we're kind of going through that phase with Pokemon now, and it's a teaching tool for them where never know, Pokemon in another 25 more years might be the same thing, full of another craze. And
Yeah. Yeah. But what you're telling me in a nutshell is I should hold on to my shadowless, Charizard, right?
told me to grab a couple of white whales, so I figured much. I bought a collection, and we started having some. So same thing, shadowless Charizards.
Oh, you did. That's crazy. I was just messing around. You actually have one. That is.
Go
What is
through
that? What does that go for?
that one there, probably 12,000 somewhere in that.
What?
That's free, free.
What?
Um,
Oh my God.
Collect the regular Charizards too. So unlimited, we have nines, and then the guy has more of them, and just the collection was very deep at Charizards, but he had them graded before the craze. So
Yeah.
now it's nice to look at nines and know that we got rid of the 10s, at the right peak of time that we needed to.
Well, for what it's worth, Tim, you're gonna have to send me some nice pictures of those cards. I'd love to put them in the interview when I post this. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I love it. So, I might already have gotten the answer to my question here, but of the current items in your collection, what was the most difficult Pokemon item for you to obtain and why?
The hardest one is literally not the one I showed you, because like I told you, I couldn't get to the vault to basically show you the really, really good stuff. But a first edition Shadowless BGS 9 for me is the best. It's kind of that thing where it's back and forth, where BGS, they critique Pokemon cards a little bit stronger than PSA. So that gold label 10 from Beckett is really hard to obtain. So that's been the one I can't get to yet. So
Yeah. Yeah, that's the one that got away.
that gold label S10 first edition Shadowless is, would be nice.
Yeah.
I'll accept my 9 as, my, it's the closest I can get.
That's the consolation prize for now, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, that's not a bad one though, right?
True. Absolutely.
Yeah, very cool. Yeah, so let's talk a little bit about, in terms of the items that you still haven't been able to find that ranks highest on your list. You said that, but let's dive a little deeper in terms of rarity. What are other like really rare either editions or cards that you have or that you're trying to obtain or that you just know about?
I was to say, I'd be honest, it's now turned to the sealed product. So to try to find first edition base set boxes has become a thing of the past. The guys
Mhm.
know what they have. They go for a fortune now.
Yeah.
Probably 8 months, 9 months ago, we had such a strong outpour from all over from our clientele. We sold out of all our early edition, first edition boxes that were sealed, all our
Wow.
stuff. I even went through all my first edition German stuff where I had hordes of that, because at a certain time people were getting rid of that fairly cheap. But now it seems to be that sealed market is getting harder and harder to find stuff.
If there's one thing, I don't know if you've seen some of my previous interviews, but if there's one thing about me, I'm a huge fan of unopened. That's my number. That's really the number one thing I collect in general. But obviously and for me, it's baseball cards. But I'm not shocked, is my point, hearing you talk about that surge that in demand for unopened material, and that almost exponential growth in the price of it. I imagine as well, right?
Absolutely. We're finding the same thing as you said with sports cards. The more product that's being by breakers, the higher our prices are going up for 1990s basketball.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. So we're talking now about the current state of the hobby. We kind of started delving into it, but can you give me the overall perspective on what your take is on the hobby right now in 2020 and how maybe COVID has impacted, the world of Pokemon? Do you see higher demand? Is it the same, slower? And then on top of that, where do you see it going in the next 5 years?
It's kind of at this point now, you're at a strong peak, but I believe that you got a little more to go. With January being the 25th anniversary, we're going to see another little spike, due to the anniversary. But I don't see it drastic, as far as volume levels we're buying right now and flipping in January as some people do in their careers. I don't think it's going to be a strong market. I think where you see them now is the 25th anniversary hype coming up.
Mhm.
And then I see it consistent, for a couple more years. It's kind of followed the same trend twice now, where it's had a 10-year lull and then it comes back out of nowhere based on something like Pokemon Go brought it back
Yeah,
like a vengeance. So it was that thing when Pokemon Go came in, all of a sudden everybody was digging their closets for Pokemon cards again. I
right.
it doing the same thing, 10 more years down the road. Yeah, I see another thing where it just resurges. And as I was saying in the beginning of the interview, with the kids involved, it's going to bring the next generation. And that's
Mm.
basically and is shocking me. You know, my kids are playing it, and that
Right.
teach me. And here it's been my labor of love at the store to teach everybody for 24 years. But now that it's set at home, it's made it a little more fun. And
Right.
realizing my kids have the same competitive edge that, you know, the store was built off of.
I'll say this. This is just me shooting from the hip here because there's and this is one of the reasons I created this channel, Tim, is I feel like there's so many parallels within all of our hobbies, and we can almost learn right from each other's hobbies, right? And in my case, in baseball, there's always that parallel to the peak years, in correlation with the income that those fans of those years now have. Now you're talking about, you said 10 years. I really do think, that the Pokemon craze will have a crazy surge as some folks start hitting their, 40s and beyond, and they have the income to kind of relive their youth and share that youth with their kids or even their grandkids. And I think that's where the hobby continues to be alive and well. Plus the element of the gaming piece. I think you have a perfect storm, if you will, for the hobby to stay really strong.
I truly agree. It's truly kind of video gaming becoming a mainstream thing. And then, as you were saying, the technological boom of careers has drawn all those people back to their childhood roots. And
Yeah. Got a couple more bucks now to buy those cards.
absolutely.
Yeah, very cool. Let's wrap things up here a little bit with some fun questions. I do this penalty box type questions in all of my interviews. Get you to sweat a little bit. You're up for it?
Hey, let's cook.
All right, let's do it. So, if you had to give up your entire Pokemon collection, including those bad boys you have stashed away that we maybe see in a future episode, what would it be and why? Which one would you keep?
One card.
It has to be one, buddy.
I'd have to go backwards. 2016, Evolutions came out. They just reissued it again. The staff cards they give us for running events just started back in the Diamond and Pearl days. Well, they gave us a Charizard, and it was stamped staff. So I have a graded perfect 10 BGS. I would probably keep that. It's kind of that thing where you earned it by running your pre-release, and then to get a BGS 10 out of it, it was kind of a refreshing thing. I'd have to stay and keep that one.
That's cool, Tim, because more often than not, when I ask this question to the group, and it doesn't really matter what, I've done everything from ancient coins to baseball cards. A lot of times, the one that folks will gravitate to is just the one that has like a really good story behind it, some connection, something that they'll keep with them for a long time. There's some of them can be very valuable too, but there's just some nice connection and some nice story behind it. So kind of cool to hear that. So that means the other ones are, I'm making it official on this interview. All the other cards are officially available for sale. So
Absolutely.
Go to his website. He's putting them on tonight.
Some might be listed already.
Oh, very cool. So next one for you is, what's the one non-hobby related activity that you like to do on your spare time, and why?
It'd have to be fishing.
Fishing. All right.
Probably for two reasons: tranquility, and then the skill to actually catch something.
Yeah. Yeah. I like fly fishing, freshwater, that kind of stuff, or?
Growing up in Camden, New York, most of my life being a kid, the salmon river's right there. So
All
I've done
right.
walleye fishing on Oneida Lake and everything in between.
Yeah. You're right. I mean, I think with the hustle and bustle of, I think a lot, all of us have our 9 to 5s, if you will, and the grind, if you will. It's kind of nice to kind of pick, a tranquil, just some retreat, right, and recharge the batteries, right?
That's it. Just
Yeah.
walk a little bit and then refresh and come back.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes and get blurred.
Yeah. Hey, not to turn back, but I did forget to ask you something, if you don't mind. I wanted to ask you a little bit more about the one follow-up question to the tournaments. Do these tournaments, Pokemon tournaments, do they go global? Like, is there like
Absolutely.
it does, and there's like sponsorships and the whole nine, like video game tournaments?
Now that's funny that you ask us. With our pre-releases, we've always held and taught these kids in the beginning. Well, there is a pro tour, just like Magic, where you go to events. You're sponsored as a player, and you will win. I believe it's under the age of 18 college tuition up until a certain point. Now, how we just started learning more about this is we have one customer that started out very young age with the store, and now he plays on the pro tour, and his parents have actually, I don't know, given up their jobs entirely, but they travel with him now, and he actually,
Unbelievable, really.
yeah, and we're watching a 12-year-old kid make money playing Pokemon.
Supporting his family.
Like, their dad's is catching up pretty good with them, but the last two times they come back to the store, they kind of like to come back and frequent at the pre-releases, and they even suffered losses at the local little fun events. So or you'll learn that you could be the most seasoned veteran, you can lose to somebody that just started today.
I'm not too far from you, buddy. I might have to take a trip up there and check this out, because like I'm more intrigued now than ever. Jeez.
They told us today, we can't run pre-releases. Vivid Voltage is out. We can't run a pre-release for that until this COVID thing's over. But once we get them, events live back opened up again, we'd love to have you up.
Yeah, I'll bring the camera. Maybe we'll do a little live version. What do you think?
Sounds like a plan.
Very cool. Well, listen, thanks so much for this interview. I hope I can invite you back to talk more TCG. I mean, I think there's so much we can dive into. And I feel like with every episode, I'll become that much more knowledgeable on the topic. And again, I can't thank you enough for doing this 101 with me on Pokemon. Appreciate it.
No problem, buddy. Thank you.
All right, we'll talk soon.
All right.
Hey guys, thanks for watching today's video. Please click on the like and subscribe button. Just a couple quick updates. We are officially live on iTunes, Google, as well as Spotify for our podcast. Go to HobbyNetworkGroup.com for more details and links. Thanks for watching today's video and have a great day. Bye.